All right.
Yeah, I drew in the chat. Yeah, like your line's a player. And you could have played that a little bit better, Drew, but I think like Ray basically spoon-fed you that game too.
All right, so Drew gets to be first this time.
So this is actually the most interesting thing right now, because if Lion goes first and Lion gets the fabled Lion high roll, you're in a rough spot. I get rid of the favorable, I get rid of the master, I get rid of the Yojo.
Again, just because you're looking for cheap Shugenja.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Solemn, the play here is Solemn Scholar with 1. Yep. Solemn Scholar with 1. The reason for that is he has a Totori. He's gonna charge the Totori. Like you're gonna have to eat it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. He's gonna go for the Earth Ring. You're not gonna defend, and you're gonna display power of the Earth Ring.
Yeah, and then put Scholar online.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's fine. Slam 5. Slap the Embrace right on the LPB. Like this should be your actual first pre-conflict. This should be your pre-conflict action to do that.
I'm sorry, to do what?
Embrace the LPB.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I remember watching this game and like you hold on to like LPB for like super long, which dumb.
Yeah.
Or the Embrace for super long.
Yeah.
Yep, it's political, which is really interesting. Runs into upholding authority. Yep, this is still no defense pass.
Yep.
Like even if LPB bow Solemn Scholar, like whatever. Like this is a turn where you're like, I'm gonna probably eat 1, maybe 2 breaks, but I'm gonna go in with much more fate.
I play a cheeky +1 Storm to force a break.
I'm okay with that.
All right, I'm glad you approve of that move.
No, I'm okay with that. Because you can flashback Storm. Like if you played a fan or something in that regard, I would definitely 100% disagree.
Yep.
But I'm fine with that. So not only do you get the Earth Ring and you get the Ring effect, Drew has no reason to win this game. Like Drew should have just conceded after you hit the triple away the line.
Well, that's what you would think.
So now, okay, so here's the triple away the line is the correct call.
Yeah.
You looked at his hand, you saw the ready for battle, you saw the Anakazu, and you saw the reservist.
Yes.
You're being a little froggy. He didn't have a charge.
He did not have a charge, no.
So he has a Legion of 1.
Yeah.
So he can play the reservist and Legion of 1 it for a military conflict here, which is fine because you have Solemn Scholar for the Earth Ring, which is he's just going to ready for battle. You're okay with that because you want him that burns 2 cards, 3 cards out of his hand for your 1 effect.
Right. Yeah, okay.
And now you're going to...
I think I forget to use Solemn Scholar.
I think you do too.
I'm thinking about it now, and I don't remember that I ever actually
even better. Like you just forced him to discard the ready for battle.
Right.
Like there's 0 reason why Drew should win. Like I'm being 100% honest.
No, I completely agree with you, and I'm like so ashamed that I miss using Solemn Scholar here.
Pause here.
Sure.
Why are you playing the Shrine Main before this conflict?
I need somebody to initiate the conflict.
Right. Why don't you just pass conflict, force him to go into his second conflict, and then you play the Shrine Maiden for your second conflict?
Right. Just
or on defense.
Yeah. Be okay with having only 1 attack here.
Yeah. And now also you saw his entire hand. You saw he has a reservist and military pumps. You're swinging military ring.
Yeah. I mean, I've got +6 from Ningyo's.
But you also have +4 from Ningyo's for political.
True.
That's still a break.
Right.
Like that's still a break, and then he can't do anything about it. Also, I wouldn't have gone for the water ring here. I would have gone for the fire ring. Because
what for?
So you go for the fire ring, you honor the Solemn Scholar, or you dishonor LPB. Either one of
Sure.
those is okay. He's gonna go for the water ring if he plays a reservist, and then you can play the Ningyos.
Yeah, but he has his military conflict left, right? So if he, I don't know how
if
much
he
of those
military-
Ningyos are going to hold him, basically.
You can tell how much they're gonna hold him because you saw his hand. He has a reservist,
Okay.
which if he plays the reservist with one fate, it's a 1/1.
Yep.
He boxes, goes up to 2. He can legion twice for +6, so he can at max go to +8.
Okay, so he still wouldn't
Yeah.
break against 2 Ningyos, is what you're saying.
He wouldn't break, and if you really need to, you also have the Bonza.
Right. Okay. Man, I should just, like, do math more when I'm playing and I look at somebody's hand.
Yeah. Like, especially on Jigoku, when you
Yeah.
can literally, like, just nip it and, like, keep it open in a tab next to you. That's what I do.
Oh, Drew's saying in chat, if he fates the reservist, he can get +9.
Did he have 2 Legion ones?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back in the video. No, he only had one.
No, you only had 1. Yeah.
Okay.
+6.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the math out, Drew. Sit down there.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So.
Hit
So obviously,
meditations.
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, meditations is a fine hit on Totori. Like, this is correct because you want to get rid of the Totori.
Right.
So there's the reservist with no fate. So you know he has the strength of numbers in hand as well. So you know he has a Senhome, you know he has an Anakazu. I wouldn't have Bonsai here. Ningyos are free.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
And
sure why I
Bonsai-
played Bonsai there. That doesn't make sense.
Like, yeah. Ningyos are free in water conflicts.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's 2 cards versus 1, but Bonsai can be played in any conflict.
Yeah.
Drew smartly passes because Drew's not chasing. So now here's the other thing. You don't
Yep.
use the Solemn Scholar because he doesn't get a second conflict off. If you had just waited for your second conflict phase, you would have then been able to use the Solemn Scholar and gotten value out of it. Because he would have played the reservist to try and get a second conflict in, and then you then just Solemn Scholar to bow.
Yeah.
So yes, you get 2 conflicts in versus his 1, but it ends up costing you what it cost him. Like, this ends up being a fine turn for you just because of the triple away the line and the display on the Earth Ring.
Yeah.
That all ends up being okay, but you could have maximized it more.
That makes sense. I didn't trade for what I was getting here super efficiently.
Yeah. Also, I wouldn't have Fire Ringed here. I would have just Void Ringed because you're going first next turn and you want the Fire Ring to have Fate on it because that makes it more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess you got the Embrace, so that's fine. Yeah, I know you want to get as many Embrace triggers out. Yeah, no. Fire Ring's fine. Never mind.
Okay.
I forgot the LPV was Embraced.
Yeah. So yeah, getting a little bit more value out of that, I guess.
Yeah, that's correct. So, yeah, you're going into 3, which is fine. He's going with 2. You're down 2 honor, which is fine because he starts up +1 anyway. You're 100% getting the favor. I pitch everything here. The moment you have favor, you pitch everything for Kanjo.
And then it flips on my broken province.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sad. Even just looking at it again, just seeing Kanjo on a broken province when you have favor is really disheartening.
Yep. This is something like I don't think a lot of people do. This is just a general lesson.
Sure.
Pitch everything. Like, if you don't need it for the next turn, pitch it. Especially, like, if you're back on Tadaka, it's like, hey, this isn't Tadaka, this goes away.
Right.
Hey, this isn't Kanjo, this goes away. Okay, this is pause here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is... I spend all my money here.
You spend all your money for no reason. You can Master of Gisei Toshi with 3, not buy the Yojimbo, and still have 3 Fate. Because your Master of Gisei Toshi is going to be in, I see 3 against the Waves in hand, so that means Master of Gisei Toshi is going to be in 4 conflicts.
Yeah, and I started with, I think, at least 2 of those in hand. Maybe all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually with all of them in hand.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason to buy the Yojimbo here.
Yeah.
Like, Lion has one thing that like, Lion has 4 shame, and they have LPB. Yojimbo is really not good in the Lion matchup.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I'm trying to think, like, I think it's basically just 4 shame and, like, the provinces that I've used it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Drew brought up in chat, you gave him Passing Fate.
Yeah. Right. Whereas if I had just bought Master Gi Satoshi, then I get to pass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It forces him to either not buy the Obstinate Recruit and then pass. Now, ultimately, what you could also do here for your bids, instead of slamming 5, because you saw he bought the Obstinate Recruit and it's only a 2 honor swing.
Yeah.
You could 2 bid here, because if he 5 bids, he goes up to 9 cards. If you 2 bid, you go to 9 cards. You're matched on card parity, but now his Obstinate Recruit is dead. He's at a 4 honor disadvantage. And you can also then draw a card off the storehouse, so you still have card advantage, and you cycle half your cards in your hand.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about, like, bid dropping to try and snipe the recruit if you're ahead on cards.
Yeah,
like if
I mean, it can bite. Doing that can bite you in the ass.
Sure,
like, it really can, because your deck is very greedy. You have a lot of utility in your hand. You have no pump.
Right.
You have 2 Ningyos.
Oh, I've got 3 Ningyos, but yeah, it's water pump.
You have 3 Ningyos. That's your pump.
Yeah.
So everything else you have is utility. So what you should be looking at here is not looking at breaking, but looking at crafting the board state to win. And you craft the board state, but to win by shutting his board state down, maintaining the favor control, which you're going to do with Conjo. He's not going to win this turn. He's not going to win a conflict this turn because you have Conjo, period. Because if he defends with LPB, you just Conjo it.
Yeah.
If he readies for battle, that's fine. That's a ready for battle. That's not being used on a Spirit Caller that you're going to against the waves.
I'm thinking, he doesn't have favor, so, like, charging Uchiaki's not, like, going to happen.
Exactly. He has no good play this turn. This is the turn where you 100% you slam the Void Ring on your first attack. You Master Gi Satoshi on the Void Ring. You slam a Political Void. You strip another Fate off the LPB. Yes, it then goes down to 1 Fate, but then it goes away next turn, so you're, like, losing some Embrace value, but his board is basically trash.
Yeah, right. So I should, this turn, like, looking at what I should look at what I have in hand here, looking at the board, and just treat this as a turn where I'm setting up to have a really good next turn, ideally.
Yeah. Like, your pre-conflict phase is really where you want to start mapping out how the turn's going to play out, and then what you're looking to do in the next turn. The other option, too, is slam an Earth Ring and turn your Scholar online to prevent his attack.
Right.
So you have 2 lines of play for the Earth Ring and the Void Ring here. Those are the 2 rings you should be looking at, because the Void Ring does something good, but if you want to get more value out of the Embrace, then the line of play is based off Earth Ring.
Right.
And that's who you should master.
And then if I get Solemn Scholar online and I have Conjo online, I mean, I'm just completely denying, like, offensive ability.
And you can go Political Earth with Master Gi Satoshi naming the Earth Ring, so he can't play anything. You court games your Master Gi Satoshi, so he's honored. So at that point, he's now a 3/5.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then you just against the waves to stand him,
right? Because
you'll have 3 money still because you didn't buy the Yojimbo,
right?
So
and then I get to just I get a ton of value out of Master Gi Satoshi at that point,
right? Because right now you have no ways to stand. You have no money. You're forced to go for the Void Ring here, which it's still a good line of play, but it's not the optimal line of play.
Right. So I've forced myself into sort of I've made myself too money hungry here to be able to go for what the good ring is, basically, at this point.
Correct.
Okay.
And this is kind of what I was talking about how not only it's not so much that you chase conflicts, it's just you blow through your money, not realizing, like, how expensive your conflict deck is.
Yeah. I think what you said about sort of looking at what you've got going on in your hand and sort of like thinking about how you're going to play this turn because of how it's going to impact the next turn. I think that's... I definitely don't think that way enough.
It's really, really hard to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot of people just kind of play in the moment.
Right.
But if you look like a lot of really good players, like a Neil... everyone jokes about how Neil's a robot from the future, but if you look at how like a Neil like crafts turns, he sets things up for like 2-3 turns ahead.
Right.
Shen does the same. Freaking Travis does the same out in Phoenix. Like I remember when Neil and Travis were, or when Neil was playing Phoenix, he would just first turn pass just to start the next turn with 8 money.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get 2 breaks on me, but whatever. Like you're gonna get in my box and I have Corey Mori and you're never gonna break my box.
Yeah, realistically you can kind of safely do that against pretty much everybody except Unicorn, right?
So you go after Ujiaki. I don't think that's the correct call. I think you go into the Manicured Garden because you're gonna maintain favor control, which means Ujiaki's useless.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if you maintain favor control, Ujiaki does nothing.
He's still a 5 political, but I guess it's not backed up by any pumps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5 political.
And
which means he has to at least one fate Ujiaki to get 2 turns out of him.
Right.
Assuming you don't void ring. And if you don't have favor control, he's useless. Like he's good for a box attack, but he's never getting to your box at this point in time because he's flipped 1 province.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So, and then I don't run the risk of, like I did, slamming into Artivore and giving him a bunch of cards.
Mm-hmm. And once again, you preemptively against them for no reason.
Yeah.
So the other line of play too, to think about too, is he's Keeper of Earth. So if you had that 3 fate and you swung for the Earth Ring political and he can't play cards, you deny him keepers.
Yeah. Also, if I had not played against the waves, I would have had the money to display a power here and deny the keepers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, in 2 different instances did I spend money where I didn't need to, and that ends up biting me right here in this play.
Mm-hmm. This all goes back to the Shiba Yojimbo buy.
Yeah, it does. Man, this game, everything snowballs on itself.
Mm-hmm. It's a little mistake like that can really cause a massive snowball.
Yeah, and then I punched the brawler out before I used meditations.
Yep, but you are a void ring, so it wouldn't have mattered. Like, I mean, they embrace the void value, but at least then the brawler goes away.
Yeah, sure.
So now here's another counter argument. I wouldn't have punched out the brawler.
Yeah.
I would have punched out the obstinate recruit because obstinate recruit can't attack politically. If he had a ready for battle in hand and he ready for the brawler, he can then get a political attack off.
Oh yeah, you could ready for battle off of Concho, and then you're just out of the fight and unbowed. I hadn't actually considered that. That's a good thing to keep in mind.
And why, right?
What, you don't think spending a fate to bow this Ayuchi Wayfinder was a good idea? And then he plays in a Como reservist?
It's a military conflict. Like, he didn't even have to do that. He could have just... He's going to have the...
Luckily, he played it with a fate, so I got to use meditations there. So that's nice.
Yeah, but he gets 2 keepers off.
Yeah,
this.
no, yeah. The misplay here is definitely just not having money for that display there.
So, if we go back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago about like crafting the board state, look at the board state now.
Yeah.
So he's at 7 money.
Yes.
You're at none.
Right.
He's going in with 14 money next turn. You know he has an Anakazu in hand.
True, yes.
And you know he has a Legion for 1 in hand because he hasn't spent it. Those are the 2 cards we know he has in hand that he hasn't spent yet.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to go in with... So yeah, he's going to have 3 characters on board. and I'm going to have 2, and he's going to have double the money that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yep. So his last province, so you saw water, is shameful. So at this point, you just have to go into manicured. Instead, you're going to run face plant into shameful.
Yep. I don't know why I'm so manicured phobic in this game.
Like, he's already at 7 money. Him going from 7 to 8 is literally nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of inconsequential at that point.
It's a 13% increase in money.
Yeah, if you look at it that way. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like, instead, he's now going to dishonor your master Gisei Toshi, honor his keeper. I mean, Drew even gives you a gift here. Like, Drew drops a fucking fan in a military conflict. Like, Jesus, Drew. Drew, you don't deserve to win this.
I don't think either of us really deserve to win this. Like, we should both just have our cards taken from us after this game. So okay, so there's the honor. He dishonors my Ningyo.
See, I think so. That's interesting because he's trying to put on honor pressure, which he's never going to dishonor you. He doesn't have a courtier, so there's no for shame to follow up. I think the correct call is to dishonor the master.
Yeah, that definitely would have hurt more.
No, I guess he does it because of the Ningyo.
Oh, because of Yojimbo,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
that's fair.
So yep. So now we know he's off Legion 1. So out of the 10 cards in hand, we know he had Anakazu and a strength in numbers. And once again, you're chasing versus a lion in a military conflict.
Right, but like in my head, I'm like, yeah, but this is just one little keeper. How bad could this one keeper be? It turns out he could be 12 bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just absurd. The level of pumps, like.
So you just dropped 3 Ningyos here.
Yes.
So now I'm gonna pose to you another line of play with Korimori.
Sure.
Korimori also can change the rank conflict.
Right.
You know what's really good to have on defense?
Ningyos?
3 Ningyos.
Yeah. That's true. I could have just swung whatever I wanted. And then switched.
Mm-hmm. Like, he's just going to drop Anakazu here with 3. Like, if I was Drew, I would just drop Anakazu with 3 into this conflict.
Yeah.
Like right now, you're feeding into him, and you're just spending cards. Like, you're going to win this water ring.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But what does the water ring accomplish?
Not much.
I wouldn't have even gone for the water ring. I would have went for the air ring just to get the money.
Get more money, yeah.
Because now here's the Anakazu with 1. You broke Art of War this turn. Anakazu's going to come in and he's going to smash a province.
Yep. So he gets, also, is it +2/+2 for each broken province this round?
Nope. If a province was broken this turn, he gets +3/+3.
Okay, +3/+3.
Yep, he's basically a 6/6 if a province was broken.
Yeah. So
he's going to come in with political fire because he doesn't care. Like, yep, he's going to win. You're going to court games your Yojimbo. I would have court games him here instead of the Yojimbo.
Okay, let's just because I'm always curious about like the philosophy of that. So like, you know, we're both at 2 glory. Why is it better to do it on his character than mine?
Because he's the beatdown.
Okay. Basically, because he's bigger.
Yep. His guy's a 6/6. Your guy's a 3/2. It's more overall value here. And the Yojimbo has one thing. The Yojimbo's not there for stats. The Yojimbo's not there for anything else. The Yojimbo's there to protect Tadaka.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what Yojimbo's there for.
I mean, I don't have Tadaka, so...
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely there for, like, shameful and other nasty effects that other clans have.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's like it's court games, counter court games.
Right.
Like that's.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to dissect that a little bit because I'm always curious. Because I do sometimes sit there and go, who does this matter more on?
Yeah. It's really just going to be the overall value because like Yojimbo is really for his text box.
Right.
So like if Anakazu's dishonored and not a broken province, he's a 1/1. If Yojimbo's dishonored, he's a 0/1, and Yojimbo has more relevant text box than Anakazu does.
Right.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah. No, it does. It does. All right. He clicks the wrong favor here, and we spend a little bit of time figuring out how to do this in Chigoku. Let's see. I think I can.
Yeah, it's like / favor or something.
Yeah. It takes a minute for us to figure it out, though. I'm looking it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you can basically see that entire turn was crafted from the first turn by.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Like the spiral effects of having played that money on Yojimbo, like I would have been so much better off if I hadn't and just like invested a little bit more of my money into Master Igi Satoshi, and I would have had the money for the display of power and like some against the wave stuff. So yeah. And that would mean that he wouldn't have this keeper sitting out here. He would still have Anakazu, but
he would still have Anakazu, and he would still be a fate positive,
yeah,
so to speak. But he wouldn't have double keepers, and yeah, at this point, he's got favor with Ujiaki, and he's on your box. Like, it's you're not winning this.
Yeah.
The way you win this is you draw a triple storm here. You buy the Eth Dreamer with 1. And now here's the other thing. You have to continue crafting the turn to win. You Eth Dream for 1, you Adapt for 1, and then you pass. You don't buy Ujina. Because once again, when you buy Ujina, what happens?
I don't know what happens. I run out of money.
Look at your hand.
Yeah, I mean, so Cloud is dead, Against the Waves is dead.
You're gonna get one money off box.
Yeah.
Because Seeker.
Right.
You're not gonna get the air ring money. Like, you could still be at 2 money this turn and still have a relatively good board state with the Eth Dreamer and the Adapt both with 1 fate, and then try to set up to survive this turn.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking actually buying the Ujina.
Because also you can't even now, like, you're going to be able to cloud Ujiaki, but you're not going to be able to double cloud him to deal with the hand.
Yeah. Right, and he just took favor, so yeah. Like if I had seen Ujiaki and been paying attention, like there's no reason to spend money beyond like to not have money for those clouds when Ujiaki and the favors on the table. When I'm sitting on 2 clouds.
Like this once again goes back to crafting a board state. Also comes down to crafting your fate pool to know what's in your hand. One of the things I did when I used to play Phoenix was I looked at my conflict deck all the time, and I just counted the fate value of my conflict deck, and I compared it to the fate value of my dynasty deck, and the conflict deck is almost comparable. As crazy as that sounds, just especially with the 2 consumed by 5 fires, the 3 Ningyos, because yes, Ningyo's free to water conflicts, it's still a 3 fate card outside of a water conflict.
Right. And there have been situations where just playing a Ningyo because I had money, like, has either won or saved me games.
Yep. You used both Master and Eth Dreamer on what ring? On the air ring.
Air ring, yeah.
Yep, which is fine. He doesn't care. He's going with the military earth ring. You're not going to win. Like, even if you Korimori it to political, He then brings in an LPB and a Mikado, which is still +3 political skill, but then he has 2 LPBs to bow out your guys, and you only have 1 money to stand. And that's even if you cloud, because like if you cloud here and he just hand to hands, your first action here isn't to cloud. Your first action here is to swap it to political. Because that happens.
Yeah. Okay, so if I switch it to...
So if you pause here and if you swap it to political.
Right. I would be at 6, 5, 9, 11.
Yep, you would be at 11. He would be at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
So you'd be 11 to 11. He can't hand to hand. And you turn off all his military power.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I forget hand to hand is not is only in military conflicts.
Yep.
Okay.
Again against Unicorn and Lion, Koromori's your first action on box is always to Koromori.
Right. Otherwise, you're going to get ambushed, as we see.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
And now it doesn't even matter because now he just boxes. He boxes for +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he just uses LPB to bow your Yojimbo, and it's over.
Yeah.
Yep, and he had the hand-to-hand.
Yeah.
Because he cycled through 4 of his cards.
Yeah, and I don't think he's even played any yet this game.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. If Lion gets on your box with an active Uchiaki, the game's over. Like, just accept it at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not even being like rude. I'm not.
No.
It's facts.
Yeah.
Like Uchiaki is the win condition for Lion.
Right. He plays Uchiaki, and I said, "Well, okay, GG." And then he spoils of war me. Drew, the BM spoils of war after the game is over.
Yeah, got it. It's about sending a message.
That's right. All right, cool. So, takeaways here. Think about your cards and think about how you can craft a board state that works with your cards. Don't spend all your fucking money.
I think the key thing to do is also count your opponent's row. Like, look at what they have and what's flipped and what's available.
Mm-hmm.
Like, certain lineups are going to be on certain row cards.
Sure.
Like, a Keeper of Earth Lion is gonna have their Earth is not going to be on Upholding. They're going to have Earth Province under box, and it's going to be Ancestral. It's going to be Ancestral Grounds.
Right.
So, which means you have to worry about Art of War, Shameful, and that's really it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because you don't care. Because if they're meditations, who cares?
Right.
If it manicured, who cares?
Right.
And it's just the big thing is just save money. Like, so if you first turn banked in the first game,
yeah,
it's huge. You go into the next turn with 8 + 7. You go into the next turn with 15 money. In this game, if you banked second turn by not buying the Yojimbo, it completely changes the play line.
Yeah, that whole turn goes a lot better for me.
Exactly. That whole turn goes from you punting, like, so you won the first turn the moment you hit the triple way of the line,
right?
And got the Earth Ring off. Like, he is so far on the back foot that it's basically you're the Atlanta Falcons with 28 points, and he's the New England Patriots with 3 points.
Yeah.
That really is what it was.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he was down 4 cards. He was down 5 cards. Favor control, and 3 of his massive pumps.
Yeah, I mean, you literally couldn't script like a better first turn.
Yep. Lion are the Patriots, sure.
Yeah. Nice.
So, I mean, and that's the thing is just like, especially with playing Phoenix is a very fate hungry clan, and I noticed this back at the Saugus EC when I like rewatched our game.
Mm-hmm.
If you like rewatch the game,
yeah,
all I did was force you to spend money.
Yeah. And I basically take like like I spend money at like the first opportunity. Like when I unbowed, like even having spent the money on the Yojimbo, and then I went and spent the money on the Against the Waves on Master Gi Satoshi, again turning off my display of power. So like I didn't need to do that.
Yeah, you preemptively take a lot of actions rather than just, you can hold on to stuff for a while.
Yeah,
is really kind of the key thing. Like there's a lot of times you can just sit back and just hold on to things and be like, nope, I don't need to worry about this. I don't need this right now.
Right.
Like, because if you now imagine if this was on box and you had those 3 Ningyos in hand.
Yep.
And you swapped it over to water. You might have you're probably still going to lose.
Yeah.
But you might have a better fighting chance.
That's true.
If you had Tadaka, and so like if the cloud's on Uji's stick, you have a chance, especially with Master Gi Satoshi, because you can also swap it over to the ring that Master Gi Satoshi's targeting to prevent him from playing cards.
Right.
It's like it's Tadaka Jr. So.
Okay. Cool.
It's just little things like that.
Yeah.
I was trying to like talk to you about. It's just like chasing conflicts is okay to chase some conflicts, but it's also like knowing I can't chase anymore. It's a really hard thing to be like, I've already spent a bunch of cards in this. I want to keep throwing cards, realizing it's just not worth it. And also recognizing like, hey, this is a Lion Clan. I'm not going to match them. I'm not going to match them on red numbers. I have to beat them on blue numbers.
Right. I need to give up the fantasy of beating lions in military conflicts, because, I mean, if there's any better demonstration than the one keeper initiate going up to like 12 or 13 or whatever he did, like it's so efficient. Like Legion of One is so efficient.
Most Lion decks right now are on, besides the garbage red Lion builds, are on 2 Legion of Ones, 3 Bonsai, 3 Way the Lion for their military pump. Plus they have strength in numbers, just so even after you like Bonsai or pump a guy, they're just going to send it home.
Right.
And then some Lion decks are also on like are on Fantana. Like the Keeper decks are on Fantana because they're also on Talisman, so they use like Fantana to kind of like protect the Talisman by running more attachments.
Right.
Whereas like Derek and I are on like no attachment line right now. We're on 30-10. So
it's just 30 events, 10 conflict characters.
Yep. So Support of the Unicorn, to answer the question in chat, that's Coyote. The Support of the Unicorn line deck is also 30-10. It's 30 events, 10 conflict characters. And the reason for that is there's not enough attachments. You're not getting Talisman out of Unicorn because you're not on Keeper roll. And what else was I going to say? It's just you're basically on Support of the Unicorn to get 2x captive audience. The splash is 2x spoils, 2x Wavefinder, 3x ambusher, and 2x captive is the Support of the Unicorn splash. And you're right, Nick. Master Gi Satoshi is basically guest junior.
Yeah. Mini guest of honor. All right, well, thanks for casting these games, and for giving me a buttload of advice and stuff to think about a little more carefully.